Welcome to this week's Bookie blog, and what we're doing is we're answering questions from people online that have sent us in questions on topics that we might not have discussed in past weeks of Bookie blogs. This week's question comes from Charles from Orlando, and the question was, mistakes beginners make when trying to become a bookie. Well, there are lots of mistakes that you can make, when you are trying to become a bookie or you are a beginner bookie. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is not having enough capital, or at least not understanding that you have X amount of dollars available as a bankroll and not tailoring the service that you're going to provide to that bankroll. If you can only have a bankroll of several $1,000s, you can't be taking $500 to $1,000 bets per game because you're not going to have the adequate funds to pay out the clients if they happen to win. So you can start off with a very little bankroll or a very large bankroll, but make sure that your wager limits and the type of players you are acquiring are within that same range. So if you have a $10,000 bankroll, you might be able to take a couple of players that can bet $500 a game or $250 a game because you have the bankroll. But if you have a small bankroll of even $1,000 to get started, which is possible, you want your average bettors to be able to bet $10 a game, $20, $50 a game, so that if they do get lucky and win several $100s, you have that little bit of liquidity to be able to play them in a timely basis. Another mistake is giving away credit limits. Much like a bank, if a person is looking to play with you and he has a job that only makes $500 a week, you can't give him a $1,000 a week credit limit. He has to have a credit limit that is in proportion to what he makes and what he can pay. If a guy's only making $500 or $1,000 a week, you can't give him a $5,000 a week credit limit. A good rule of thumb is, if a guy says he makes $1,000 a week, you might be able to give him $250 a week as a credit limit. Because if you give him $1,000 a week, and he loses it all, he's losing his entire paycheck. And chances are after 2 or 3 weeks, if he loses, he's not going to be able to pay you, and you don't want to put yourself in that position. So make sure the credit limits, just like a bank gives loans at the bank, you qualify the player, make sure you find out how much money he earns and what he can actually afford to pay per week if he loses. Another thing that is in line with that is a wager limit. If you give a guy a credit limit of $250 or $500 a week, you can't let him bet $500 a game, because the name of the game is volume. You don't want the guy having a $500 credit limit and a $500 bet limit, making one bet and losing and not being able to bet any more of the week. It's better to, if you're going to give a $500 credit limit, the industry standard is his wager limit would be $50 a game, because you want him to win, to lose, to win, to lose. You don't want him making one bet, losing all his money, and then calling you up to extend his credit limit, and then put yourself in a position of not being able to collect the money because you can't afford to pay the thing. So, in closing, if you're a beginner bookie, please qualify your players and give him a lower limit and something that he can afford to pay, so you don't put your book of business in jeopardy or your potential customer to go broke after just a couple of weeks. The idea is to keep them happy and playing over a long period of time. So again, thanks for that question this week, and we look forward to speaking to you next week on the Bookie blog. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe below, and add comments in the comment section if you need any additional information.